to be tonight on the program. Hope you're being strengthened and blessed in things of the Lord, and I hope that you have a Merry Christmas and all things works well for you. We do have our business to tend to tonight, so we are going to continue with the business that is at hand, and that is, first and foremost, we need to understand that our nation is in a time of crisis right now, as of course everyone who has any natural understanding of natural things, or as we may call any common sense, you can see that the destruction is all about us. It is brought by those who are in fact masters of destroying. They destroy for a living. It's who and what they are. They are spiritual, soulish, physical demolition experts. And I want us to look tonight at liars, division, treason, and see if we can put our finger on exactly who is doing what. Because as we've talked several times before, it is all about the tree bearing the fruit and us knowing what the fruit is of the tree before the tree bears its fruit. As we've said several times before, as I've said several times before, if you have to wait for the tree to bear its fruit, then if the fruit is that of a murderer, then somebody is dead. So we have to have the discerning of God, the gift that He gives us, that we can see not just what's right in front of our face, but that we are able to see some distance off. And with the gift of discerning of spirits and with wisdom, God gives us the ability to do that. It will always help us to see and to know who it is that we are dealing with. The Bible makes it clear that it is a commandment given to us in the New Testament to know them that labor among you. Now the Bible warns us and tells us that in the last days that deception is going to be the worldwide number one problem. Worldwide deception. And the deceiver has to have the deceived to feed them. As long as they're able to deceive, they will continue deceiving. And then they will cause those who was not deceived to become deceived. And then the Bible telling us that the deceivers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. The one that buys the jets for the deceivers are the deceived. The deceivers would not be there if there was not money in deceiving. So deceiving and deception is in one form or the other a lie. Even if that deception is 99% truth or even 100% truth, but being worked out through a false and an evil motive to use the truth for one's own advantage and to use the truth for another's destruction. And the Bible tells us that that is something truth can be used for. The Bible tells us that there are those who hold truth in unrighteousness. That's why I've told you in times past that truth is a secondary issue biblically. Righteousness is the first point, the first issue, the primary thing is righteousness. I can tell the truth on you for no other reason than to destroy you. I can go out and destroy your name, destroy your reputation, break up your home or break up your marriage or break up your family or destroy, separate, and divide because I've actually went out and told the truth about you. So you understand, truth can be used by an ungodly motive, and therefore it is a secondary issue. Righteousness can never be held in unrighteousness. The Bible says truth can be held in unrighteousness, but righteousness can never be held in unrighteousness. Right is always right. You do what is right, and that is righteous. Now, with that said, we must understand this, that there are treasonous deceivers who lie in this country in great places of power, who lie every time they open their mouths. And you wonder, why in the world is it that the whole population cannot see what is so clearly obvious? It is because they lack something. They lack wisdom, they lack understanding, and they lack discernment. They are just pretty much animals that has nothing but the next free bone that they can find in their eyesights. We call it nearsighted. I'm going to show you tonight treasonous behavior. I'm going to show it to you clearly. Understand that a lie, and the purpose of lying is in one form or the other to deceive, to destroy. It is, in fact, a dividing thing. Lies will separate one from truth. If I lie, then I'm separating myself from the truth. I'm dividing myself, separating myself from the truth. If I am lying, I am no longer unified with truth. Therefore, lying is division. If you believe the lie, then I have separated you from truth. Therefore, I have divided you. And of course, listen, all of us knows that if you're going to run a business, if you're going to run a family, you're going to run a home, you're going to run a life, if there's going to be any credibility to it, if there's going to be any honor in it, in any of it, you will have to be truthful people. You can deceive and you can lie, but as the Bible teaches us, somewhere down the way, if it's in your business that you prove yourself to be a liar, it's coming out sooner or later. And what's it going to do? It's going to divide you from your profits. And finally, it will divide you from your business. It will separate your business because it will tear your business down. Same principle works throughout everything. Yourself, your family, everything. Once it is determined, once it is clearly established that you are a liar, all honor, all trust has gone away. So the only thing that you can hope for is to deceive people, to where either they want the same thing you're deceiving for, and they're chasing it blindly as a dog chasing a bone. And therefore they don't want to see the truth because they think by following your lies, they can get rich too. So they don't care if you're lying and cheating. Just teach me how to lie and cheat like you doing so I can have all the stuff that you've got. It's dishonest people. And the only thing that is going to be drawn to dishonesty are those that's dishonest. That's why the Bible speaks of the liar and the lie lover. There are not only liars in the world, but there are lie lovers. And the way you will always find out who a lie lover is to turn loose the liar. Because then the lie lovers will gravitate toward the liar. That's how come in church sometimes it's good for God to, clean it out. And sometimes God will send a liar into your church, and you'll notice then all the pacifist lie lovers will begin to gravitate to the liar, and sooner or later you'll have trouble. But at the end of the day, all you will have done was separated the liars and the lie lovers from those who actually love the truth. I hope you are catching all that and understand it's vitally important, especially if you're a pastor of a church. Now, I want to look at, first of all, what the word treason is and what it says. Just give us a brief definition. The word treason means the crime of betraying a nation or a sovereign by acts considered dangerous to the security. In English law, treason includes levying a war against the government and giving aid and comfort to enemies. So, in short, whenever we help an enemy of our nation, because obviously people has gotten in power that is the enemy. They got into power by lies, by division, and by deception. They said they was one thing when their fruit obviously showed another, and again, anyone with discernment could have seen it before they ever got there and got in power. But those that reaches this place of power, they're no longer the government of this nation or that particular people. They are actually aiders. They are helpers. They are of the enemy nation. They have now come in, set government up around them with other people who is of the enemy, and it is a takeover. It's treasonous behavior. If a democratic, if a freedom-loving people, if a republic, constitutional republic, gets somebody in office who won't say to aid, to abet the enemies of communism, who are the avowed enemies of our way of life, that is treasonous behavior. You got American people, more than 11,000 on day one of Joe Biden coming into office, was fired because he shut the pipeline down that had brought down the prices of our gas down to 30, 40, 50-year lows, $1.80, $1.70 a gallon. Because we possess enough oil and gas, probably more than any other place in the world. We can provide and supply ourselves with this thing that we desperately need in order to make our lives better. You see, you getting paid more money on your work, everybody being forced to pay $15 for hamburger flippers, that is not going to cure nor solve anything whatsoever in your life. Because the people who are now being forced to pay you $15 an hour is going to up the price of the hamburgers that you are flipping. At the end of the day, all the prices goes up to meet now what they're having to pay out extra. And so what you're able to buy now with the $15 an hour is no more than what you could buy on what you was making before, because all the prices went up with your salary. The key to prosperity is to lower prices. You're not going to lower prices by upping the wages of people to $15 an hour for flipping hamburgers, or taxing big businesses and saying, we're not going to tax the little man, we're going to just tax these multi-billionaire companies that makes everything you purchase and buy. We're going to tax them because they need to pay their fair share. Well, whenever you tax those companies, what do you think those companies are going to do? Those companies are going to up the price of their product by the same level of which they just up the taxes on them. And so you know who now pays for the taxes, for the increase? You and me. Every time you go to the grocery store, every time you purchase an item, you are paying much more for it. So it was not the big business that got taxed. It was you that got taxed. You are the one paying for those taxes. So the key is to bring it down. As concerning the pipeline, well, whenever you, as Mr. Trump did, open up the pipeline where now we were supplying not only ourselves but the world, much of the world, with gas and oil, our prices dropped significantly. Now, not only that, but the prices dropped for the trucks that's driving the stuff. So the prices of goods started going down. That is what you do good for your country. You just helped the entire nation. Mr. Biden comes in and immediately he stops that pipeline, putting 11,000 workers, American workers, out of business in one day. Up the gas prices now to $5, $6, and $7 out in California, $4 and $5 most everywhere else. All the trucks now have to pay for the extra gas, all the prices of everything going up. While he shut our pipeline down, he let Russia open their pipeline, and now we are begging them and the Middle East for gas again. You see, that is destructive to your own people, but it's not only destructive to your own people, it is also aiding an enemy who has sworn to destroy you, Russia. You now have the pipeline money going into a communist country, and we're over here now begging all of them to increase their oil when we had more than enough. And he shut it down. How in the world can you describe it other than aiding the enemy to give them your pipeline profits while you put your people out of business And while you make the prices of everything they purchase higher, that is aiding the enemy. Period. Nobody in the world could fail to see that. And that's just it on a small level. Go over to Afghanistan and leave billions of dollars worth of war equipment in perfect order, helicopters, guns, name it, just left it there. Who's going to get it? Who's going to learn how to put the stuff together? China, Russia. And there is no way that a president of the United States could not know that if you leave your best weaponry in a foreign country bordered by your greatest enemies, that you have not just aided them with weapons of which can be used to kill the people you claim you represent. This is not hard to see. It is treason, period. Now let me read to you a passage of Scripture that describes for you perfectly well the mindset, the work, and the activity of those that are evil and those that are wicked. It's found in the book of Proverbs, and it reads in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 2. It says, "For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk mischief," which means ruin. They study destruction. This is one of the psychological profiles of the evil and the wicked. They study constantly. The Bible said in Proverbs, they sleepeth not. They never quit. They study not prosperity. They study not peace. They study destruction. They study how they can destroy the economy, how they can destroy, and then blame it on somebody else, how they can destroy the government, how they can destroy the freedom of religion, the right to bear arms, how to destroy the Constitution, and how to do it through mischief, how to ruin with their lying, murderous lips. Now, I'm going to show you one of these in action, and God knows I could spend all night long showing you one after the other. I am a conservative person. I'm a Bible-believing conservative. Democrats are lying, demonic antichrist, period. Republicans has been, and there's a little change taking place now, but Republicans has been cowards through the years. They're like passive debater. The passive debater will always be beat by the aggressive debater. The aggressive debater will always butt in and keep talking. The passive debater will be a gentleman, and whenever he's interrupted, he'll stop to show himself a gentleman. And so in a 20-minute debate, the aggressive debater talks 17 minutes, and the passive debater talks 3 minutes. So the aggressive debater almost always wins. That's why if you're going to debate, you're going to have to get in it. If they're not going to give you time to talk, then you don't give them time to talk. If it turns into confusion, fine and good. But the liar don't win. You understand? Now, here is a U.S. Senator, Blumenthal, a noted liar. Mr. Blumenthal, a Democrat, just went to a communist organization to usher out American communists, to usher out awards. He goes and he takes part in this event, and then it comes to light. And whenever it comes to light, lying Blumenthal tells everybody that he did not realize or recognize that it was a communist event, and that had he knew that it was a communist event, he would not have participated. Now, I'm going to play you the lady at this communist party gathering that introduced the Democratic senator. Keep in mind, as this lady is introducing the senator is standing little more than arm's distance from the lady that's announcing his presence. Listen to what she says, And then ask yourself, how in the world is it possible that this Democrat senator didn't know he was at a communist event handing out awards?
Thank you all. This is a beautiful tribute from all of our labor leaders honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement, not just in Connecticut, but across the whole world. And today, now we have a very special surprise guest. Our state senator, Richard Blumenthal, is here to be part of the awards today and to share some appreciations and recognition of the awardees. So please welcome Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you so much. I am really excited and honored to be with you.
You see, the lies that these people will tell is absolutely disgusting. And the only thing on earth more disgusting than the lies that they tell is those who pretend they can't see it. You got a man standing at an arm's distance away from somebody who's just now telling them they're at a Communist Party event, and then he stands up before the whole nation and says, had I knew I was at a Communist Party event, I wouldn't have done it. You didn't know you was at a Communist Party event?
This is a beautiful tribute from all of our labor leaders honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement, not just in Connecticut, but across the whole world. Honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement, honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement, honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement, honoring how important the Communist Party is in our movement.
All right, if Mr. Blumenthal couldn't understand after his introduction that he's at a communist event, then he's too stupid to be a senator for sure. So you wonder what the level of intelligence would be for those that votes him in. Here's the lady, after Blumenthal quit talking, continuing to speak. Let's ask ourselves again. Do you think the senator knew, even after these closing remarks, of which he had just left the stage, do you think he knew he was at a communist event?
If you are not already part of the Communist Party, we invite you to participate and contribute and join. There's more and more people talking now about socialism in this country as it becomes more and more clear that capitalism is not going to work for our future. If you are not already part of the Communist Party, we invite you to participate and contribute and join. If you are not already part of the Communist Party, we invite you to participate and contribute and join.
A Democrat U.S. senator at a communist event where they are inviting and asking people to join communism, and a representative of our government is there handing out honors and prizes. That is what you call treason, sir. There is no question about it. Blumenthal, he's been known for his lies. He was in the military, but he was here at home. But he kept running around telling everybody about his days in Vietnam. And of course, there were no days in Vietnam.
We have learned something very important since the days that I served in Vietnam.
Neither Blumenthal nor his staff, the Times said, ever corrected any of the numerous press accounts that had put him in Vietnam.
He then got brought to light about telling his many lies about being in Vietnam so he could get in office. Once it was brought to light, he came out and apologized, and of course, he just simply misspoke.
Now, on a few occasions, I have misspoken about my service, and I regret that, and I take full responsibility.
Okay, Mr. Blumenthal is now lying where he's asking to be forgiven for lying. He says it's very simple. Many times he has misspoke, he said. Now, I may very well misspeak. I'm preaching or talking about Elijah and Elisha. And I say Elijah in some part of the sermon where I should have said Elisha. Well, when I'm going back and listening to it and editing it, I hear that I said Elisha when it was actually Elijah I was talking about. And the rest of the day I said everything perfect. I misspoke one word, didn't even know I did it. But I did not go out with whole sentences or statements. I fought for you in Vietnam. That's not misspeaking. And then when you go out, as he just said, and do it over and over, numerous times, when I fought for you in Vietnam, when I was in Vietnam, when I was in Vietnam, and you've done it numerous times, you are not misspeaking, you are lying. And then when you get caught and you stand up and say, I misspoke, you're lying again. This is a treasonous communist. There is no two ways about it. You cannot go to communist gatherings, being part of Communist Party events, where the people are inviting Americans to become communist, our avowed enemies, and you a senator of the United States of America. It's treason.
Say there's work for you to do. So I took my master's hand and joined the Christian band. Now I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. I left my home and kindred, bound for the promised land, with the grace of God upon me and my Bible in my hand. Distant